This is the Milano, the Millennium Falcon of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And this is easily one of my favorite LEGO sets that's come out in quite a while. So let's do a top 10 list to talk about all the reasons why I love this. Number 1, the ship is pretty strong. I'm jiggling this around, I'm holding it kind of carelessly, and it's pretty stable. It's got this enormously complex shape, and yet they managed to make it really stable. And to show some of the construction details, I'm going to show a couple build videos that highlight some of the construction that makes it really strong and stable.
And it just keeps on going. Also, check out these wings. They're very, very sturdy. So this is built studs on top construction. Well, there's a lot of different kinds of construction here. Some of it is studs on top. And then the sides are not. It's not construction. And then out here we have all the plates oriented so that the studs are facing forward. And this makes it extremely strong. I can pick up this whole model here and wiggle it around and it's fine. They make extensive use of hinge plates to create this angle between this portion of the wing and this part. And there's more hinge plates to create this sort of angle in the fuselage wing connection.
Number 2, strain relief. What does that mean? Okay, so here's a little Technic piece that absorbs the force of when I put this thing on the floor. It's got a stand, but to try it out, let's put it on the floor here. And note that the nose portion is right on the ground. But that little Technic piece takes the force of the ship's weight. So this portion, it's reasonably strong, but it doesn't have to take the weight of the entire ship because they've built a piece that absorbs the force instead. That's strain relief. Number 3, all the subtle angles. So check this out. Here's an angle. Here's another angle. There's this curve over here. And then over here is an angle, another angle. And this angle is going up very slightly from the rest of the surface. So it's flat, 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 and then it goes up just a little bit. And then this part is going up just a little bit and also back, or down, I guess I should say. And the fact that they managed to fit this all together so seamlessly is absolutely amazing to me. This front portion, of course, is a 90-degree angle. These pieces are at 90 degrees to each other, but they fit at a 45-degree angle to the rest of the build. And that was accomplished in a very clever way. And this is the basic technique. So this part right here, this 2x4 plate is what connects to the rest of the structure of the ship. And then this little wedge plate forms this angle in front. And the hinge plate connects the two. And then this portion is built up quite a bit. So they layer this with studs facing the side, bricks that have the studs facing the side, so they can then attach plates to the outside. And this is also built up vertically so that there are multiple hinge plates. And this, it doesn't wobble at all. This is just amazingly strong. It's a really perfect way to create a 45-degree angle, or rather a 90-degree angle that connects at 45 degrees to this part. So number 4, a lot of these subtle angles are held in place by clips in ways that I think are really clever. So here's a bit that I tore back on the starboard wing. And so this piece clips in here, and these clips are at a little bit of a different level. And then here's the underside, and then this just clips into place. I'm not going to try to do this on camera because I'll screw it up. And then this piece over here has a bracket piece, which then hooks into this portion that's held at a subtle angle by other sorts of clippy bits, or the bars, the bar pieces, plus these little clips that have a bar sticking out on one side. And these held in place with clips are found all over the place, like over here, I think anyway, if I remember rightly. Also on my top 10 list is the creative use of plates, various wedge plates, to create these color changes. So none of these little stripy kind of details are stickers or prints. It's all just brick built. Okay, well, that's a sticker, but that doesn't really count. So all the blue and orange and gray striping, that's all plates. Also, I love the sort of feather-like, bird-like details here. Like this feather sort of thing, flight feather can move up and down. This one can move in this plane, and part of it fits within a little socket. There's a wing on the underside which can move by a click joint, so it can move up and down or dorsoventrally, and it can also rotate. There are also these engine sort of pieces in the back that can rotate around. They aren't really bird-like or feather-like, but they're following the same principle of having a lot of moving surfaces. And for sure, having a lot of moving surfaces is very bird-like. Another sort of weird thing that I appreciate is that this entire structure out here looks like it sort of just grew out of here. Like this is it looks like this is a cuticle, and that this whole portion, this cluster of flight feathers, just sprouted out of some part of the trunk or the arm of this bird that isn't a bird. And finally, with the exterior, this isn't on my top 10, but I still like this. There's a window at the back, which is featured in the movie, and there is a cockpit in the front, a cockpit canopy. And this is a brand new print. This is the first time it's ever been used in a set. And on the underside, there's this opening, which is where the stand slots into, so a little slot for that. But this little curved portion, this curved angle, allows one to sort of clumsily put the little stand in there, like one doesn't have to perfectly fit it in exactly. It can kind of slide down that slope and make its way into the little slot where it's supposed to go. And that's just good design. For the rest of my top 10, we're going to take this cover sort of piece off. And this whole piece just peels up, and now we can see the interior. And I do love a good spaceship interior. The fact that the interior is actually pretty substantial. It's the Space Winnebago of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. There's a sort of bedroom back here, or cabin, I should say, with a bed. We'll show the details in a moment. Place for just kind of doing your thing, standing around, sharpening knives. Here's a seat, and here's some more seats. It's a big interior, and I really appreciate that. In comparison, let's have a look at the Benatar. This was released as the Guardians of the Galaxy spaceship. And for the interior of the Benatar, which is supposed to be a bigger ship in the show, in the movie, we have 2 cockpit chairs, and that's it. In the main cabin, we have a couple more chairs over here. There's a coffee maker. Okay, I like that. That's fun. That's a fun detail. And there's a donut on a plate over here. And then the back is just, yeah, I mean, it looks cool. The greebles are neat, but there's nothing there. This entire space is, I think I measured it at 14 by 6. That's a tiny interior for such a massive ship. It's the mystery machine of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Now we're checking out the cockpit. So this is, I don't remember, number 7, I think, or 8. Here's 2 front pilot seats. Here's some controls, little control yokes that they can pull on dramatically, and presumably these are some controls. And then this is sort of a captain's chair with this cool looking stickers and a little joystick over here. And then this seat looks super awesome, and it can also fold back and forward. And I love that there's actually space for 3 people to sit there, like it's shown in the movie. There's also this space. This isn't on the top 10 list, but it's a seat for Drax to sit there and sharpen knives while Groot is sitting over here dancing, or not dancing all of a sudden because he's been spotted. Here's another sticker, which is just a neat detail. Over here's a sticker showing Yondu, And this is from the second Guardians of the Galaxy movie, because he's got the bigger Mohawk instrument thingy. I can't remember what that's called. While we're at it, let's just tour this area. I like it when there's a space that's basically its job is just to be space. Because if you're on a spaceship, you need a little room to just kind of walk around, pace, or if there's multiple people on the ship, then you better have a lot of space on it, or at least some. It's Lego. We're limited here. Also, there's a bunk in the back. There's only one. I kind of wish they had changed things so that maybe there were hammocks in the ship, or that the bunk could fold up so that this place could be used for purposes other than Peter Quill sleeping. Also over here is his little tape deck player. That's pretty cool. The tape deck is a print. There are a few downsides, but they're really pretty minor. There's no weapons placement anywhere on the ship. There should be some weapons in the forward part, I think. There should be a hatch somewhere. There's nowhere for a crew member to get in or out of the ship, unless you count this, which maybe they used that. I don't remember at the very beginning of the movie, of the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie. But there's nowhere else to get in or out of the ship. A hatch would have been nice. There's also no toilet. And, well, I guess we'll just have to imagine there's one that folds in or out of the wall. The set comes with 4 minifigures, unless you count Groot, and I kind of feel like you should. Peter Quill comes with his 2 blasters. There's also an extra in the set, and he's got a dual printed head showing mad face. Drax, who likes holding his knives like Ahsoka Tano holds her lightsabers, he's just got a happy face because he's a happy guy. And here's the back of his head. He's got a lot of cool printing. And the thing that I never noticed until recently is that there are little minifigure heads here on his tattoos. I assume those are tattoos. Gamora has her 2 katanas, and there's also an extra included in the set. And here's her normal face, and then she's also got mad battle face. Here's Rocket with his crazy Hadron Collider gun, whatever it was called. I don't remember it. I think it had the word Hadron in it, but I could be wrong. Or this might be this might be the gun he was using at the beginning of the movie, or a different movie. I don't know. He has a big gun, and he's a raccoon. And everybody loves Groot because he's awesome. So that's the Milano. Milano has 2,090 pieces. It sells for $180, so it's a good price to parts ratio.